From Echoes with T.A., where every heartbeat tells a story. And every story leaves an echo. Maryam, the girl with the quiet smile. In the heart of a small house of village called Cura, where the harmattan wind blew soft dust across red earth, lived a girl named Maryam, quiet, graceful, and full of dreams she rarely spoke of. Maryam was the kind of girl whose silence carried meaning. When she smiled, people felt warmth. When she walked to the stream each morning with her calabash balanced perfectly on her head, even the birds seemed to follow her steps. Her eyes, deep, brown, thoughtful, always looked like they were watching something beyond the horizon. Her father, Maryam Sonny, was a farmer. A good man, but life had worn him down. Her mother, Hawa, sold groundnuts in the village market and often said, "Oren Jr., Sai Haukuri, in this world, patience is marriage." She said it every time life became heavy. Maryam understood patience. She had practiced it since she was a child. Every morning before sunrise, she helped her mother grind millet, swept the yard, and fetched water. By the time the first rooster crowed, the smell of firewood and pap already filled their compound. She loved those moments, before the noise, before the sun, when the village still whispered secrets to the dawn. But Maryam had a secret of her own. She wanted to go to school. Her late elder brother, Usman, used to bring her old books when he returned from Kano. After his death, an accident on the road, she kept his books hidden in a wooden box under her bed. At night, she lit a small lantern and read them silently, tracing the English words with her finger. It was her way of keeping him alive. One day, as Maryam walked to the stream, she met Aisha, her childhood friend. "Maryam," Aisha said, adjusting her scarf, "you've heard? The new teacher is coming from the city. They say he wants to start free lessons for girls." Maryam's heart leapt. "For girls?" she asked, her voice soft. "Yes. Even the MA supports it. They will start next week." That night, Maryam could barely sleep. Her mind danced with the thought, to learn again, to read again. The next morning, she told her mother. Hawa sighed deeply. "Maryam, you know your father will not allow it. He says a girls' school is her husband's house." Maryam's lips trembled. "Mama, but education." "I know, my daughter," her mother interrupted. "But our world is not kind to girls who dream too loud." Still, Hawa's eyes softened, and for a moment, Maryam saw something, a flicker of understanding, maybe even hope. Days later, the teacher arrived, a young man named Teacher Musa. He was tall, soft-spoken, with a calm confidence that made even the elders listen. He wore a simple white kaftan, and his hausa carried the accent of someone who had seen the world but hadn't forgotten his roots. The first time Maryam saw him, he was standing beneath the baobab tree, writing English letters in the sand for a group of curious children. She stood behind a fence, watching, listening. "A is for apple," he said. "B is for book. C is for courage." Courage. The word stayed with her long after she left. That night, as the lantern flickered beside her, Maryam whispered to herself, "Maybe courage is all I need." A week later, she gathered her strength and spoke to her father. "Baba, I want to learn from the new teacher," she said softly, her hands folded in front of her. Maryam Sonny looked up from his prayer mat. His face was lined with years of sun and struggle. "Maryam," he said sternly, "education does not cook soup. It does not fetch water. Your place is here." "But Baba," she said, trembling, "if I learn, maybe one day I can help you, help Mama." He frowned. "Enough." Tears welled in her eyes, but she bowed her head respectfully. "Yes, Baba." That night, she cried quietly, her face buried in the pillow, her dreams washing away like footprints in rain. But the next morning, as she walked to the stream, she saw the other girls laughing, holding their small slates, running toward the baobab tree. Something inside her refused to stay behind. She followed, heart pounding, steps light, eyes wide. Teacher Musa noticed her standing shyly at the edge. "Come, little one," he said kindly. "What is your name?" "Maryam," she whispered. "Maryam," he repeated with a smile. "Do you want to learn?" She nodded. "Then sit. Here, every girl has a place." And just like that, her world began to change. Weeks turned into months. Maryam learned quickly, letters, numbers, sentences. She wrote her first full English sentence on a piece of old paper. "My name is Maryam. I want to be a teacher." When Teacher Musa saw it, he smiled proudly. "Never forget that dream," he said. "Education is light, and light cannot be hidden. Her father still disapproved, but her mother began covering for her. She's helping me at the market, Hawa would tell him. But really, Maryam was under the baobab tree, learning to read the world anew. Then came the season of rain. One stormy afternoon, Malam Soni fell ill, fever, weakness, and cough that refused to stop. They had no money for the hospital in the city. Maryam sat beside him, holding his hand, whispering verses and prayers. When teacher Musa heard, he came to visit. He brought medicine and some money from the teacher's fund. Alawaye Bia Shalafaya, he said gently. May God heal him. Malam Soni looked at the young man, and then at his daughter. He saw the respect, the confidence, the light in her eyes. The girl who once feared speaking now comforted him with calm strength. He turned to her and whispered, "You've changed, Maryam." She smiled through tears. "Education taught me hope, Baba." Days later, when her father recovered, he called her to sit beside him. "I was wrong," he said, his voice weak but warm. "If knowledge can give you courage like this, then it is truly a blessing. Go, my daughter. Learn all you can. Make your brother proud." Maryam's tears fell freely as she hugged him. It was the first time her father's words felt like wings. Years passed. Maryam became the village's first female teacher. Every morning, she stood beneath the same baobab tree, teaching little girls who once thought learning was only for others. The village now called her Malama Maryam, Teacher Maryam. Her quiet smile had not changed, but her voice carried power, gentle, steady, full of belief. Sometimes, when the harmattan wind blew softly across the fields, she looked toward the horizon, the same horizon she once dreamed of, and whispered, "C is for courage, and courage begins with a dream." You've been listening to Echoes with T.A. Stories of love, loss, and the echoes that never fade.